very well, happy new year, to us all, everyone on this call. It's good to have us. And of course, this is the RAEY Summit 2.0. Day two. Just to tell you again what the RAEY Summit is all about. The RAEY Summit is where we all come in at the beginning of the year, and also the end of the year for us. I mean, at the end of the year and the beginning of the year, for us to all come in to speak and just hear some things that will clarify our mind on how to better use the year. So of course, as as always, it's always very insightful and very knowledge packing. Last year we had quite a number of speakers, including the phenomenal Jimmy Tewe and Folusho Badamosi and all the other lineups. And of course, this year the first day we had Presley and to Elizabeth and Kehinde, which the conversation was very powerful. I mean, you would agree with me to that. But as we go in, for this second day, which is January 1st, where else can you be? There are other places you can be, if not here. And what that says is that you prioritize self-development, you prioritize, learning, to just really be here at this time. So yes, you're welcome once again, and happy new year. We'll be going right into it, and our speaker is right here. Our keynote speaker for today is right here. Just to tell you, the host will introduce him, of course, appropriately, but just to give you a brief of what he is to me. Over the years I have seen him, I've watched him in the on YouTube, watch some series. Then I used to watch Jenifa's Diary, my best episodes, then and there I just like him, and just like his comic, the way he uses comic to make people learn, insights, he imputes some thought-provoking things into what they say. So yes, that is what he is. And even till now that I when I visit some of the church David Christian Center, I see him, and yeah, it's just been nice having him here and having him to accept to do this. And yes, of course, we'll be learning from him. Just to let you know, is if all the Jenifa's Diary, he has been on it. Every movie Jenifa's Diary, is on it. Is quite a lot. You should go check him out on YouTube, on Instagram, and see quite a lot that is doing. So we are off to learning great stuff tonight. So yes, thank you everyone, and sitting, and of course we are on Zoom here. A lot of other people, much more other people are on YouTube. So yes, stay in as we get deep dive into this. All right, over to you, our host. Oh, sorry, we can't hear you. You are muted.
Oh, my apologies. I was saying thank you so much, Adura, thank you so much. Thank you for putting together the RAEY Summit 2.0. I was saying one of the reasons why I chose to be here was because of the value that it gives, with conversations and all, starting from the first one from last year and this one. So yeah, let's buckle our seatbelts and we about to begin. All right. So I'm just going to introduce our keynote speaker for the day. Adura has already done like a bit of introduction. We know James from Jenifa's Diary. Actually, personally, I really do admire his character. And I'm just going to read his profile. Then he comes and just speaks to us. Yeah. So Michael Uba is popularly known as Ogbolor. He's a top-rated Nigerian actor and comedian with a career spanning stage, screen, and digital media. He's recognized for his compelling storytelling, his unique humor, and relatable performances. He has become a household name across Nigeria and the African entertainment landscape. With a strong presence in film, television, and social media, Michael has inspired millions through authentic storytelling, creative expression, and cultural impact. His work bridges entertainment, education, and engagement, making him a highly sought-after personality for conversations on influence, creativity, and personal growth. So his skills and expertise revolve around comedy, media personality, public speaking, creative storytelling, cultural influence. I'm not going to say much again, but please, with every manner of excitement, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Ogbolor as he speaks to us tonight. Whoop, whoop. You're welcome, Michael. Good to have you here. The stage is yours.
Your mic is muted.
Hello, can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, can see you, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, I was planning to hear applause and everything. I'm so used to that. How are you guys doing? How's everyone doing? Hope we're good. We're good. We're good.
Absolutely. We're doing well. Doing well.
All right. So that was me just doing my air check to make sure that at least I could get a feedback. You know, I did radio for 5 years, so the back and forth thing usually worked. Happy New Year to everyone. I'm not in my James character at the moment, so please excuse me. All right, so 2026, I want to say very, very big Happy New Year to everyone who is watching at this point. And it is my prayer that it will be that year for us. All right, but then um, nothing happens per chance as far as I'm concerned. You know, everything is everything happens from intentionality. You literally have to be very intentional about life and life itself. Even as one who has achieved a number of things for myself, I continue to learn so that I continue to also achieve more as we move on, because life itself is running very fast. And as a person, you must be able to also continue, you know, to reinvent yourself and all of that. You know, so for me, very big thank you to the convener of this for bringing me on board. He knows I like deep talk. I like very inspirational talk. I love to motivate and inspire people. From my own stories, spanning over 20 years in the entertainment and media space. And so I believe meetings like this are very important, because it was meetings like this that kind of shaped people like us. Before I ever dove into entertainment, I've always loved being a speaker, and I went under the umbrellas of the likes of Eladro Toye, Moladele Olunike, Charles Otudo, these amazing speakers. I learned from under them. I mean, this was probably when I was still in my late 20s, and I refused to just gain admission to university. And as because I had been struggling with that for a very long time, almost 10 years, I couldn't get to university, but I stayed under these guys. I made sure that I learned. And when it was time for me to launch into the space of entertainment and media, it was quite, I wouldn't say easy, but I had enough knowledge to be able to take me through. And that's the reason why right now I can also teach people while, um, you know, while I have the opportunity to do so. So once again, guys, you're all welcome. And I'll quickly just jump into it. All right. So like I said earlier, I'm not doing James today. I'm doing teaching things. All right. Preparation. He who plans to, he who fails to plan, plans to fail. That is a line that has over time come to become very real to me. If you fail to plan, you are literally planning to fail. A number of us who right now are probably recording some form of failures or stagnancy or whatever it is, if you check it clearly, is usually the information you don't have or the information that you do have and refuse to apply. That is the problem. It's nobody from your village. It's nobody from your lineage or whatever it is. Sometimes these things are not curses. Sometimes these things are just you refusing to plan. You refusing to plan. Many times I see people say, oh, for every year, you don't need goals. Just go outside there and do stuff. That is how you actually do plan to fail. Because if you take life by chance, what if there are no chances? It literally means you're stagnant. But if you put certain things in place, even God who created the entire earth knew what days to put what. So that is the approach one would have towards life. But first things first, before we even go into planning and planning for a 2026, for example, because it is easy for you to go to church or go anywhere and get that whole talk. This year is this year is that, this year is this, and this year is that. It's not a bad thing. But you see, faith without works is dead. Meaning, if you don't apply works to whatever it is you've heard in church, for example, you are definitely going to hit the wall. That's why you have so many people in churches today who are not really getting results, because a number of us just want to sit on the faith. Nobody really wants to work. Meanwhile, these guys on the outside are putting in all of their effort into work. And of course, a bit of faith here and there, and it works, right? So first things first, what do you want to do at the end? By the end of the year, who do you want to be? Who do you see yourself becoming at the end of the year? A quick story. Let me just, because I love to tell stories, because I believe that one story is usually where the teachings are. Because I could come here and just begin to talk off of my head and just begin to say so many things. But if I don't give you examples, it may not hit home. All right. Many years back, I was never this guy who was very social. I wasn't the guy who was social. I was very quiet, and a number of things would work against me. Why? Because I was not the person in the family who was expected to succeed. I was not the person in the family who was expected to become like the star in the family. I wasn't. I was quiet. I was bullied a lot. I was called a bastard. So many things worked against me, would naturally work against me. And as a child, I had a very painful childhood, even though I had a very beautiful one as well. So it was a balance, but I didn't grow, when you have one parent here and have the other parents there, and you have to shuttle between homes. So I was a traumatized kid, and so many things would have worked against me. But by the special grace of God, thank God for teachers, thank God for people under whom I was put, and I learned from so many of these guys along the line. Now, I had always known I wanted to entertain people. I had always known that I loved to entertain people. The love, not necessarily because of the funding, not necessarily because of money, but more because of the love, just for the love. Excuse me. I had a love for entertaining people. And as a kid, when I was growing up, the likes of Michael Jackson, the likes of MC Hammer, these were the guys who were entertainers back then that I wanted to be like, because these were dancers. So I started off as a dancer, as a professional dancer. I did professional dance for 5 years. And in fact, I was in some of those up and come, all of those early musical videos. I set up several dance groups. I did professional dancing, but there was no money there. So later, after 5 years of nothing, when you get home and your family is looking at you like, are you sure you want to do this? Or you just want to destroy your entire life, But luckily, my mom also had my back. She was just like, I'm praying for you. Anything you decided to do, shall succeed in it. So after 5 years, I left dance, but I gained a lot of knowledge creatively from dance. I was the Spirit of David. I was in several dance groups, but I learned a lot. The reason why I'm starting with this part of the journey, with part of the story, is so that anyone who is watching right now, who probably thinks that everything just comes together at once, things will just happen like this. It's a lie. every experience you've had prior to this time where you are things that can help you for the now. So nothing is wasted, right? Nothing is wasted. You are the one who needs to put in account all of your experiences and use them for the success of in the future. So many of the things that happened and worked for me later on in life, one way or the other, were things that I saw that I had experienced many years back, and I went through it many years back. I learned from it. Many years later, I was able to apply it into a particular situation. So you may be where you are right now. The most important thing is, what are you doing with all that you are gaining from where you are right now? What are you doing with the information you're getting right now? There's a time to launch out, and there's a time for you to be inwards and do a lot of learning, do a lot of preparing. David was in the bush for years. And one day, I mean, he was tested in the bush. You know, the lion came, he dealt with the lion. Another day, the bear came and he dealt with the bear. These were his times to prepare when nobody was applauding him. These were his times to prepare when nobody was seeing him. And years later, the opportunity presented itself. You know, the opportunity presented itself with Goliath. Now, at that point, if he had run away from all of his experience with the lion, with the bear, and all, there is no way he would have gotten himself ready to defeat a Goliath. And we know how the entire story went. Defeated Goliath, and he became king eventually. Now, dancing. After dance, AY calls me one of those days because, yes, I was still trying to get into the comedy industry. And eventually, I got into the industry, spent a donkey years doing stand-up comedy. It was under our nose that stand-up comedy started becoming what it was, what it became today. Likes of Sheilo Akoro, these were my sets in the comedy industry. Before I then moved into media. Now, to whom much is given, much is expected. God had given me so much, and I believe that the devil actually did try to kill my shine as a kid, you know, but thank God that did not happen. And eventually I went to media, I went to radio, did radio for 5 years, did television for another 10 years. Now, it was while I was doing television that Jenifa's Diary came. And, you know, the rest, as they say, is history. Now, people usually attribute all of that success to just Jenifa's Diary. Jenifa's Diary was later, but a number of things had happened in between that eventually got me to that point. Now, talking about preparation, I had always played with a feminine character, just for laughs, you know, where my friends will be, you know, in the house and all of that. I'll just put on a wig and I could do it. Aside the female character, I could play with almost any character as a child. But I will do and I will do, and you know, I'll play with these things from time to time. But then the opportunity presented itself in form of Jenifa's Diary eventually. Now, this was years later. Anything you're preparing for at the moment, guys, listen, anything, there's no preparation that goes to waste. The time will come for it when you may need to, you know, apply everything you've learned. My nature as a quiet person will have worked against me. And this is where I will talk about later. This is where I will talk about you dealing with self. Many people really don't realize that you don't have any enemy but self most of the time. Sometimes you are the person you need to deal with. Sometimes that your nature is what you need to deal with. I am too quiet, so I cannot do this. That is the problem. Sometimes there's a part of you that needs to change. A part of you may need to die in order for another part of you to come into existence. If you continue to go by, this is just who I am, and this is, I cannot do X, Y, Z, you are going to become your own problem. So one of the things you may need to deal with as you prepare for a 2026 that should become very, very successful is dealing with self. You have to deal with self. Till date, I'm dealing with self. Because of my ability to, you know, like perfection, I had the tendency of procrastinating. So what I'm supposed to do today, I'm pushing till tomorrow because I want it to be perfect. I want it to be perfect. But over the course of time, I've come to also learn that nothing is perfect to start. You get perfection on the journey. It's on the journey that perfection comes, and you're never really perfect either way, you know, but on that journey is when things begin to come together. It's when things begin to actually piece together. If you chill for things to come together before you launch out, you may never necessarily, you know, you may never really get to the place of success, you know. So you need to deal with self. And this was something I needed to deal with as I journeyed through my industry. And then Jenifa's Diary came. One day I just heard that Funke was looking for someone to come and play the role of James. Now, 10 years before this, I had been playing with a character like that. 10 years before this, in fact, more than 10 years before this, I'd be playing. I'll just be playing and just make my friends laugh, you know. And then they called for the audition. I went there for the audition. I hated auditions. From my dance days, I had hated auditions. I hated to just attend auditions. But I went for this. And I got there. It was obvious that they had been struggling to find the right person for that character. And in less than 2 minutes of me putting things together. Now, what people don't know is the chewing gum I chew in Jenifa's diary, I took that chewing gum to the audition place to show you how prepared I was for this particular audition. You know, I went there with the chewing gum, went there with the hair tie. And then when they saw me, I read the whole thing. And Funke was like, this is what we've been looking for. So I literally went there as the character. And most of what you will hear, even in the movie or in the series, are a lot of my own words, you know, a lot of my own words, a lot of my own, all those I'll scratch your face, you know, that my character James would always say, were things I coined out myself, you know, and Funke will give you the creative space to, you know, do all of that. So at the end of the day, in preparing yourself, preparation is usually, it shows that you actually do want this. Many people are not prepared for what it is that they're actually praying for. They're not prepared. If you would meet a Dangote, for example, in an elevator right now, and it says, what do you want me to help you with? A number of persons will have to think first. That shows you're not prepared. You should be as ready as ready. You should be as ready as if the opportunity presents itself right now, it's a go. If you wake me up from sleep right now, hand me a microphone, I will anchor any event. That is how prepared I am. If you get me a script right now, I will act out anything. That is how prepared I am. All I'm saying right now is not written anywhere. These are things that will come from my soul. That is how prepared I am. All right. So many times people will just want a performance without necessarily looking at preparation. You must prepare. Prepare like it's coming tomorrow. This thing is very important because your energy as a person is also going to attract certain things to your life. Once you begin to prepare, that thing you're preparing for begins to come. It may not happen immediately, not in weeks, sometimes not in months, sometimes in years, but it begins to find you. All right. So having an identity is something else I want to quickly talk about. You must know what it is that you want. You must know who you are. Sometimes who you are may battle with what it is that you want. These are the battles we have sometimes. An identity. Discover who you are. Develop that thing, whatever it is. And please make sure that you have people in your life who are actually telling you the truth as well. All right. Very, very important. Know who you are. If you, I have known I will not do a 9 to 5. I had known since my teenage days. You want to kill me? Put me in a 9 to 5 space. I had known because I loved entertainment. So what do you love? All right. And discipline, clarity, you know, these are things that we don't have a lot of time to really talk about. But I will tell anyone out there who's watching right now, I'll just leave the rest to questions because I believe sometimes that is where the real answers are. All right. I didn't get to where I was just by chance. Now, that's taken me many years of preparing myself. And I know the next level I get to is also from a lot of things I'm preparing for at the moment. I'm a very observant person. I'm watching things 247. I'm learning from my colleagues. I'm learning from those who have gone ahead of me. I'm learning from people who have made mistakes. I'm learning from people who have succeeded. I continue learning because of where I want to get to. So you can't sit and just expect things to come together all at once. Preparation is key. Preparation is key. So for now, I think I'll just leave it here. Let's do questions. And then from questions, I can do more. Right? Now, Matt say.
Thank you so much, Michael. I always want to call you James right now, but thank you very much. Thank you. I think that was just really, really good.
Thank you.
I mean, it's nice to see the side of you off screen, right?
Yeah.
To see that you can actually be a serious human being. I'm sorry to say it like that. Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of us just get used to the James character. It's like, oh my goodness, this person's serious at all in life. Yeah. Well, guys, please, can I see your clap? Can I see your emojis? Can I see, did you enjoy? Actually, Come on now, come on now, come on now. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I was just typing all through in the chat. Knowing who you are, prepare for what you want. That thing that you said really struck me. Like if somebody meets you right now and says, "What do you want?" I'm ready to fulfill all that you need. Like, you don't have to think about it. You have to like give it at the snap of the finger.
Yeah.
So that gives me a lot to go and prepare and think about and get ready for that one chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes it will come. It will come. But preparation sometimes, like they say, preparation meets opportunity. But sometimes preparation, people are not prepared. The opportunities come and just pass you. If you're not prepared, you will not even identify opportunities sometimes.
Yeah. Right. All right. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Do we have questions? I know that we have questions.
I love to answer questions.
Please
Oh
ask us.
yes. Oh yes, I have a question for you here. And yes. So I mean, as I said, you are one of my heroes, and even I was telling my sister when I was having a call with you this morning, my sister was more like around and she was like, "Oh, who was I talking to?" And I say, "Oh, he's my speaker for." Then I say, "What is it called?" Then I say, "Oh, it's you." Then she's like, "For real? Oh." Then I'm like, "Yes, like it's really you." Then she said there's something you used to do in Jenifa's diary, when you're chewing gum and you are. So I mean, that's just to say. But I mean, I know you talked a bit about this in another way, but how? I mean, I'm not putting you on the spot, but I would say Jenifa diary. Let's even leave it, there just as there. There have been some of the cast that has, came, gone, and even some returned. How have you been able to really be in, be continuous in being part of the cast for years? I mean, it's up to like 10 years, even more than, if I'm right?
11 years this year.
Yeah, 11 years. So I mean, please tell us about that, because this is beyond just maybe Jenifa or the AY or the people you're working with just liking you. So I mean, please tell us about that.
All right, so quick one here. I'm very particular about two things that the Bible said, which is one, you being the salt of the earth and you being the light of the world. All right. I don't think I'm ordinary. So first things first, you have to first believe that, man, look, there's something, spectacular about you as a person. Everybody can feel that way and it will help you in life. But most importantly as well, it's value. There's nowhere I step into that one way or the other, I don't, offer value. Now, my character was not supposed to stay long, according to my conversation with Funke back then. It wasn't supposed to stay long. Now, that time when I started with Jenifa's Diary, I was on radio and I was on TV. So I'll do radio, I'll do TV, then go shoot Jenifa's Diary. It was a lot of work, but my character, like I said, I was bringing value to the character. Now I go away from the script, not necessarily go away, I stick to the script, but then I add other things to it. And then when I will play with it, Funke will watch and she was like, I like that way he do. I like that thing he did. I like those words he added. It's very funny. Like I said earlier, I started chewing gums. And if you go to the early part of Jenifa's Diary, you will see some of the scenes where I was not tying hair tie. It was later on, my character started, they maintained the hair tie because I had come with it initially, right? So I was one who added the gum. That was the value I added to the character, So for me, it's a value thing. For Funke, right now, we are family. We're no longer like, producer, actor. We're family now. And that is also because of the value that I've been able to bring into the whole thing. There are some actors who have come and gone. They could not necessarily cross from being actors to family, because they're not offering more value. There's something Ali Baba taught us many years back as MCs, that sometimes you have to go above and beyond the call of duty. That is A, B, C, D, above and beyond the call of duty. Sometimes they add an E to it, which is every time. right? Learning how to do more, learning how to offer more, is a very important thing. And from time to time, for the character, the reason why the character has been able to, aside from the grace of God, is because there's a lot that I've also brought into the character of James. In fact, this afternoon, Funke called me for something and said, please help me do X, Y, Z. And I was able to do it quickly this way. So at the end of the day, it's about the value. If you want to go far anywhere, when I was on TV, it was the same thing. When I was on TV, I was anchoring 3 TV shows almost at the same time. My boss loved me so much because he was like, man, he's anchoring one. That one is selling properly. The second one is selling properly. The third one, I was doing the Obonge show. I was doing the Paddy Paddy show. I was doing the late night show. And it was just, so again, offer value. Wherever you step into, offer value. Always ask the question, what can I do more? How do I add more to this? What can I do? Sometimes people get into spaces and just feel like, look, I don't want to go and do more before they will steal all my ideas. Or I don't want to do more before they will now say, no, push yourself. You are a light. Wherever you step into, something should speak about your own. There should be something different about you as a person. Back then, when we get on stage as comedians, I will go on stage and still crack my jokes differently. So people will talk about every comedian, but they'll still say there was this guy that came on stage that did X, Y, Z. So there was always something unique. I always went for the unique things. I always wanted to add something extra, do a little bit more. If Funke calls me right now, I may not have the chance, but I'll promise her, say, okay, no, give me like 3 hours, make I work out some. Now, there are some actors that would never do that. They will say, no, I beg, I could just call me, no, just a show, no. You see, you have to be a person of value. Wherever it is you work, if you're a 9-to-5 person and you have a boss, be the kind of person that your boss should be able to call aside and say, man, I believe you, I trust you. And if they're working to promote anyone, you should be the person that should be on their lips. That comes from value that you have to offer, nothing more. Right? So that's how I believe that the character has been able to stay this number of years, and creatively too. There are things as we're shooting, there are things that will happen sometimes. I will be the one to tell Funke, I'll be like, big sis Alpha, see, this thing, I believe it will funny like this. I'm sure it will become funnier if we do it like this, like this, like this. And she will like the idea. She will just love the idea and say, yeah. Because Funke is a very creative person. So when creativity meets creativity, she loves it. And she gives you the chance, to do all that you need to do. So it's a value thing. Add value, whatever value you want to add. And these are not things you just learn when you've succeeded. No, these are things that you learn from before spotlights even hit. I've always been this person. Always, from my teenage years, I've always been this person. One who always offers values, even down to friendships, down to whatever it is. Be the person of value. And you'll naturally see it play out in how you step into any place and just become the person who, when they push everybody aside, you are not the person to put aside. When they were sacking people on radio and on TV, they didn't touch me. I literally went there and said, okay, you know what? I'm done with TV. I'm done with radio. I don't do it again. So I tendered the resignation. Others were sacked. In fact, a whole year, they did not want to let me go for a whole year. I was working and receiving salaries, but I was not working. I was just in the office. I attended my resignation. I wasn't working for a whole year, but I was being paid salaries. That's how much they wanted to keep me. Do you get? So it's about value. It's not about one special thing. It's about value. You are a light. You are a salt. You must be those things.
Wow. So amazing. All right. Now, I will talk about habits, and this is more like discipline. They say when you want to when you have maybe like when you are looking at something, it's better you create an habit, that will sustain you to achieve it, rather than just saying, I have a goal, and just like looking for motivation to keep doing it. So can you give us practical ways you've had to, maybe some habits you've tried to imbibe? It could even be maybe the time you wake up, if you are such person, what time you wake up, just like to achieve some of this your goal. And even you talked about hosting like TV shows at the same time, like the same time. How are you able to put all of this together and still able to to attend to friends, family, and even movie sets. Movie sets, is different. So yeah, I mean, how are you able to do all of this? Yeah.
Okay. So it's about capacity. Excuse me. It's about capacity. If there's anything I keep asking God for, is capacity to do more. Because many times we don't know that we can do a lot. There's so much you can do as a person. Many of us, we scratch the surface and we think that's it. Nah, there's so much you have the capacity to do. So much. When I was working, when I was doing radio, I would do radio till about 10 o'clock. I'll be on radio from about 7 o'clock till about 10 o'clock. Sometime around 11 o'clock, I'll run to go shoot TV. When I'm done with TV, sometime around 2 p.m., I'll run and go shoot Jenifa's diary. I have to do Jenifa's diary from like 2 o'clock to like 8 o'clock. I run back to TV to now do the second show for the day, which comes live by 9 p.m. till about 10:30 p.m. So this was my, later they made it 3 shows per day. And but it was about capacity. It was, I wanted, first, like I said when I started, the love for this thing. It wasn't money. The love had naturally carried me to a point where if you wake me up from sleep, I want to do it. I literally just want to do it. But again, capacity. I've been able to do more. Even with a little time, I can do more, right? But then I worked on it over time. I did not, I spent a lot of time with myself, and like I stay in a whole 3-bedroom apartment. I stay alone. It gives me the opportunity to get creative. I'm a nocturnal person. I mean, I'm a night guy. Most creatives are. I'm a night guy. By 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, you can literally see me pacing in my house. I'm with a pen, I'm with a jotter. I have so many jotters, so many journals. And I'm writing, ideas are coming. One thing I learned to do over time is also to create the kind of atmosphere that I do want for myself to stay creative. And creating that kind of atmosphere for myself meant that I had to put some elements in place, have the right kind of lighting in the house, have the right kind of music playing. These things help me. I'm not one who is into alcohol or smoking to get creative. So I create the atmosphere for myself, to be able to do all that I can do, right? And habits, as for habits, I mentioned something earlier that I watch my friends. I watch people who have done things ahead of me. I'm a learning person. I give so much to learning. I'm sitting down and I'm watching things happening and I'm learning from a lot of things that are happening. This, for me, I think is my top habit. Every other thing is probably me writing down goals, putting a time frame to these goals, making sure that these goals are attainable, making sure that they are realistic and all of those things that, put goals in place. Yeah, but putting goals in place is very important. But for me, aside all of that, it's also my ability to just literally get to that place where I just create things for myself. Find a time that works for you. Find what works for you. It must not necessarily be the same thing that works for me that works for the next person. I stay disciplined to this thing, very disciplined to it. In fact, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. You get it? I'm not where I want to really get to. I never see I'm yet. I never see I'm. So I will still get there. But even though I'm on that journey and I'm grateful for the journey so far, so again, in all of this, it's more about capacity. And that is one thing people should pray for and ask. Capacity to do more. You can do more. You can do more. You may think that, oh, I can just do this one thing. You can do more. You can do more. For example, I'm a comedian. I'm an MC. I'm an actor. People also ask, Michael Ogbolor, I've not seen you in so many movies. That is because it's intentional too. If you're on a series set, it's almost like a 9 to 5 job because you're shooting almost every day. You will not have time for movies, for actual movies. That's why if you see some people who are in series, you don't really see many of them in actual movies. Series people have their own actors. Movies have their own people, everything. So it's mainly about capacity, to be very honest. It's mainly about capacity. Aside that, I learn from everybody. I keep learning. What you're doing now, I'm learning from this. I'm always asking myself, what can I do to be better? How can I do to improve? Sometimes, and then very importantly, have your kind of people around you. The right set of people around you. You know, everybody knows myself and Adaku as enemies on Jenifa's diary. But in real life, she's my sister. In real life, that's my person. We can sit down and for the next 4 hours, we will discuss progressive discussions. We will discuss how to move forward in life. Sometimes we challenge each other. Sometimes we set goals and we say, let's see who is going to achieve it first. Now, these are very important things to do because your friends also will determine a lot for you, you know, and having the right set of people around you is very, very, very important. So, but in all of this,
What?
Capacity, very, very important.
Wow. Capacity, somebody say capacity. Let me see, let me see the words capacity in the comment section on YouTube. Just keep rolling in. Capacity. I mean, that is the key word, you've got to build capacity. And, I say, remember the title, of this is the unseen preparation of heroes. So while you are building that capacity, people would not see you.
They never see you. Like the example I used earlier about David, there was a time in his life nobody saw him, but he was building capacity, and he wasn't doing all of that because he had been told that he would see Goliath. He didn't know he would meet Goliath. But you see that capacity that you're building, a day would come, you'll be tested. A day would come, you'll be tested. You will definitely be tested, and you now know if you have enough capacity to handle stuff. So it's very important.
Nice. So again, I would ask you this, and while we've heard the story, key impact, we see your impact, we hear the story, your routine, we're able to know what brings you up. We also want to know what are because there's always more like some down moments. What are the things that that has hit you, that, and how are you able to come out of it? Because I mean, in this world, there will always be problem. As you're solving one problem, another one is arising. It could be a call from this thing that, you need to redo a movie you've forgotten that you have acted, and how do you tackle, what is your resistant resistant button, is that the word?
Okay, so okay, I'm going to use an example, okay, of some years back, I was engaged to be married. And I was engaged to be married. And then one day the lady just woke up and said she's no longer, getting married anymore. I didn't do anything. She just woke up and said she's not. So she came to my office to return the ring to me. And this was just moments before I went on TV. And the thing that I do a live show. If you know what it takes to do a live show, you are not preparing for that. You're not doing cut and join. As you are coming like that, just as we are doing now, you are live. And it's a big production and all of that. So imagine the person that they just gave his ring back coming on set to come and shoot for TV. And then after that one, I'll still have to go to Jenifa's diary. But that's where I understood the power of loving what you do.
The power of...
That's when I understood the power of loving what you do. See, don't live this life without experiencing the things you actually do love. There are people who are working right now, they are not doing what they love to do. Now, the love for what I do is probably what took me. And of course, discipline, my ability to be able to separate certain parts of my life, my personal life and my professional life. I don't try to put both of them together. And again, ups and downs will come. A lot of us who make people laugh usually go through a lot. But sometimes our ability to make people laugh or entertain people is also our escape. So many comedians, you will not know that many comedians who make people laugh as well are hot-tempered people. Many comedians who make people laugh sometimes are depressed. But you see, this is an escape. Entertaining is an escape because we love it. So you will naturally gravitate towards something you love as a decoy sometimes, right? So through all of through all of this, one has to be able to stay true to themselves. I was trained for TV. I didn't just jump into TV because I wanted to go to TV. I trained a whole year to do TV before I went into TV. So while I was on radio, I was training for TV. And one of the very important things that we were taught was this: if anything is happening to you, learn to put it aside and go and do what it is that you have been called to do. If you have to be on TV right now, and you just heard a few seconds before you go on TV that your mother died, and the crowd is waiting for you to come and do what you need to do, that whole emotion, you need to keep it aside for a few minutes. Do your profession. Do what it is that you are being paid for. Do what it is that you've trained over the years for. And then when all of that is done, you can then go back to, it takes a level of discipline. It takes a level of professionalism to be able to do that. And I think that over the years, in fact, there are times when I'm shooting like 3 movies in a day, and you're on this set, there's wahala on that set, there's probably no food there, this and then you run from that one to the next set, there's probably no water. That one you don't get water. You go to the third one, those ones, they don't even have anywhere where you can stay when you are not shooting. It's probably maybe have to stay under the sun. And sometimes everything is not just happening. In fact, if you're an actor in this country, you will learn how to survive or work under pressure, because many times the conditions are never really as excellent as excellent. Funke Akindele is one of the few persons who creates an excellent environment for you as an actor to do, exceptional work. She's one of the few. So, but in all of this, I've stayed professional. I've learned over time that, look, do your best possible to separate these two. As a professional MC, in fact, being an MC is the longest job I've done, because I started doing that from my secondary school days, about 26 years ago now. And I've learned this thing. I mean, you can be at an event and the lights just go out. You have to save the day. So these are just, they come with the job, but you must stay professional, do your best possible not to allow your emotions get the best of you. Stay professional. There are some actors you hear having problems today on air, maybe on Instagram and the rest of them. Sometimes actors are not as professional. Some actors become divas. Some actors become problems. Some actors become, but I promise myself something. No matter how popular I become, no matter how successful I become, I must stay professional. Must stay professional, because where I'm heading to in life is bigger than just even the acting. I must be able to leave a mark and be respected for what it is that I do. That no matter what comes, come rain, come shine, this guy is going to show up. That's the kind of legacy I want to have at any point in time.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. Staying professional, and of course, that's super amazing. Just to ask one more question before the host takes over and maybe I ask a question and the audience. I would like to ask, now we see you as who you are today. We see you on stage, we clap for you, but what are some of the things you would have loved to know earlier? Maybe if you have a younger brother, or an associate, or a colleague, a protege now, what would you love to tell them?
Okay. First things first, don't allow your nature cheat you. Don't allow a nature that you have to cheat you. Like I said earlier, growing up, I was a quiet person. Now, if anybody say, well, where's Michael? Of course, I call myself by my actual name. Every other person says James, Ogbolor, and the rest of them. But I call myself by my actual name. Sometimes, as a kid, in fact, my dad is still shocked right now that I am doing entertainment. My father is shocked that, this is one that was quiet as a kid, So yeah, sometimes your actual nature, that thing, like I said it earlier, that thing, don't allow it become the thing that will now stop you from succeeding. So if I had to talk to my younger self or to someone who is younger, that's what I would say to them. First, if you have a character or a nature that is going to work against what you want to become, start to work early on it. If you are the type who will say, look at Moses, for example, the Bible. Moses said, God said, you are going to become XYZ. Moses said, at this time, I can't talk. God said, don't worry, I'll give you Aaron. Somebody's going to do the talking for you. You understand? He could probably not change his speech, but God also gave him, because he did not deny what had been given to him to do, but the solution was brought. You probably have a nature that you may need to adjust. Please go ahead and do that. Secondly, don't overthink anything. Stop procrastinate. Don't overthink anything. Do your best possible to start early. A lot of times I didn't start too many things early. Now, again, mine was also because I had so much talent. I was that guy, in our teenage days. I was the guy who would clear all the awards. Maybe in school, I would clear the awards in church, because we had like a youth church where we were very active. So I would collect best dressed, most dedicated, best actor, best dancer. One night, I'll collect all the awards. So who much is given, much is expected. At a point in time in my life, I had so many things. I was like, which one I want to take start, So that confusion can also come. But I thank God that I did not keep any one of my giftings or my talents on the side. Over time, I had done things to make sure that I go take care of this particular talent. Like I said, dancing, TV, radio, speaking, acting. In fact, I've done more stage acting than movies because I love stage, right? I produce stage events, stage shows, and all of that. So for me, if I had to talk to a younger person today, one, don't procrastinate. Go ahead. In fact, when we started, we didn't have social media. Our own was raw. You are either going to succeed or you are not going to succeed. Today, one person puts up video consistently and you can become a celebrity. That year, oh no. You will go from one end of the earth in Lagos to the other end of the earth, and you will still hear rejection. You will still hear no. They will send you back home or will get back to you and all of that, But don't procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. Do anything you need to do now. It's best you fail early, and then you can then correct yourself as you move on, right? Another thing, like I said at the beginning, that nature of yours, don't allow it cheat you. Don't allow it stop you from becoming who you need to become. Don't allow it. Third, be with the right set of people. Be with the right set of guys. Back in the day when we started as comedians, myself, Sheilo, MC Shakara, Akporo, a number of us, we were always going from place to place together. On the days when you don't feel like going, somebody else is going to come tell you, say, guys, stand up. We have this thing here. Let's go there. Let's go crack jokes. You need the right kind of people around you. Don't stay with loafers. Stay with people who have the same kind of vision like you. Don't always be the champion in any group. This was something I had to learn later, because as time went on, I was always the guy who was the brightest, the most intelligent, the most creative, the most entertaining in any group. So most times I was the one who was always talking inside groups. And till date, I can be like that because, God had made me a leader. But I learned later that you don't always have to be the champion in every group. It's also a way to keep yourself stagnant because you always have this savior complex as time goes on. So over time, I started learning to also have people who know better than me, always be under people who I could, learn from, right? And anyone who thinks that you don't need a mentor, you are kidding. You need mentors. Get people who can always mentor you. Get people who can always speak to you. Get people who can always tell you, hey, look, there's this thing going on there. Go there now. Someone you cannot say no to. Do you understand? You must be accountable to somebody. You may not have parents who are always behind you and all of that, trying to push you and everything. You have somebody in your life who can tell you, look, I had somebody like that in my life, not just somebody, several men. Like I said, at a point in my life, I didn't grow my dad anymore. And that left some void in my life. But thank God for certain men in my life who were able to always say, look, hey, young man, you are a very bright person. There's this seminar going on, certain place, this place. Make sure you attend that seminar and then come back and give me, tell me what you learned there. That was very instrumental in my life. Very, very, very instrumental. I will go there, I will take notes, I will come back, I will come and explain to that uncle. So these were people who made sure that I was staying in line, right? So definitely, these are the things I would just tell anybody. There may be more, but these are the things I would tell any young person, and continue to learn. Continue to learn. People always ask me, a number of my guys who I started with are no longer as popular, but I'm still here. And sometimes they ask me, how have you been able to sustain yourself so far? I said, one, I've learned to reinvent myself. Two, I've learned to always learn, continue to learn. You know, I love to watch international shows. So I sit down sometimes to watch and learn. I'm watching a movie, I'm learning how to act better. I'm watching a series, I'm learning how to. I learn from everything. I continue to learn. Never stop learning until you die. Keep learning, because as time is going, things are changing. And if you are stuck on your previous knowledge, you may be old school in no time. All right. So keep learning, have the right kind of people around you. Those people who you are all good, pursuing your goals together, people who will also speak to you as mentors. And of course, beat that nature that is trying to stop you. If you know that you need to stop eating corn and you love corn so much, you love to chop agbado, but you still want to be Celine Dion, it will not work. It won't work. All right. You may need to deal with that. I love this, in order for you to become that. Again, it's a nature that may need to die in order for you to come into the fullness of that thing you want to become.
Oh, wow. All right. Our host, over to you.
Thank you so much, Adura, for the questions. I mean, I think it brought a lot of other sides of color to the gists for the night.
Yes.
Thank
I always
you.
prefer questions.
Say it again.
I said I always prefer questions.
Right. All right, guys,
Yeah.
you've heard it. Please, you've heard. He prefers questions. Please, at this point, just fire him, bombard him with questions, okay? I see more people join the call. I see Yanu. I see Isaac additional. I see Oluwatosin. And we also have some people on YouTube watching. Please send in your questions if you have any, or if this is already clear enough. Okay, there's a question on the chat. Let me just read it out. This is from Isaac additional. As a person who is venturing into AI videos and the space it covers in the present and future video entertainment and content creation industry, what is the advice that you can give to me? Okay. Secondly, what can you say about the role of AI in the entertainment industry going forward right now?
Okay, so I'm just going to sum up that whole thing. Some of us are old school, some of us are so this is a moment where we are all relearning. We are all relearning. In fact, by next week, I'm going to sit down with a friend of mine who is going to take me through this whole AIP, because that is the future at the moment. So I may not have your direct answer, right? Because it's also, the whole AI thing right now is still pretty much an area where many of us are starting to, especially also some of us who are a bit older. I'm no longer even in my 30s, I'm in my 40s now. Our own will be old school, you get. So the whole AI thing is even still new to some of us. But that is what I've come to realize about transitioning, reinventing. With whatever it is that's on ground at the moment that you need to learn, go ahead and learn. You get. I want to jump even on the AI knowledge and everything ASAP. That's to tell you that learning never ends, because that is the future. Okay, so for entertainment, of course, from movies to everything, of course, script writing, AI is solving many problems. We grew up at a time when you had to do things, manually. Now things are being done for you, with the use of AI and all of that. And I mean, brilliantly. You may not need to stress as much as we did in the social media, AI, and all of that had literally made life a bit easier for you guys, at least who are maybe about to venture into new stuff. Take advantage of it, please. The likes of us, a lot of people in my age are still struggling with the idea, but you will have to take advantage of it. All right. So I hope that answers your question. Just go ahead, learn all you need to learn. Like I said, next week I'm jumping on AI knowledge. All right. And I just hope that that is the future. Just know that is the future. And anything that comes as this is the future, hold on to it, because so many people are not going to jump on it. Tomorrow, when you succeed doing it, you can succeed doing it at the same time, still also succeed teaching it. So money yakpa for you in the future. So literally just jump on it, right?
Thank you. Isaac, Adeyino, I hope that answers your question. Okay. Any other question at all? Okay. Thank you, Isaac. Anyone else wants to ask questions? I mean, you can unmute your microphone to ask the question if typing would be too much.
Ask. Oh.
Yeah. So I want to ask this, and
All right.
it's about should I say purpose, or how you are sure what you are doing, is what you are really meant to be doing. There's someone that said it, there's a turtle that says it. He said that no one can argue. No one can argue, if how was it said again? No, you can say Elon Musk, is fulfilling his purpose. The argument will be if he is fulfilling all of his purpose. So yes, with what you do, or with what I do, with what everyone does, how are we sure we are fulfilling our purpose? So yeah.
Okay. You see, sometimes when people are sitting on this issue of purpose, sometimes you'll be stuck there. Sometimes you'll be stuck there. I'm saying this as one who was also trained as a motivational speaker and then trained separately as a speaker as well. Over time, I've come to realize sometimes we are just busy putting too much energy on this. Go ahead and just do things. All right. Now, when I started knowing that this, you see, God is going to give you, you've been given certain things, that either your talents or your giftings, right? Along the line, I started to realize that when I entertain people, somehow people love the fact that I entertain. Oh, wow, that's beautiful, and I'll get on stage, I'll go crazy. I'll do this one, I'll be on TV. Wow, I'd always had that wow effect. But sometimes when I speak to people differently and I'm not acting, I'm entertaining, people say, thank you. That was profound. Thank you so much. Now, my spirit man recognizes the thank you. At the end of the day, my spirit man just knows that, okay, this thank you felt different from well done, or you are entertaining us very well. There's a difference. Your purpose most of the time is going to be in line with the thank yous that come. It's going to be in line with people's lives that you affect. I could be doing entertainment also just for myself, but purpose is tied to people. It's people inclined. It is you being a channel towards something. Don't overthink it. There will be that conviction in your mind, in your heart, that okay, but it goes away from self. Now I know that God has given me entertainment and media as a means to fulfill purpose. Tomorrow I can gather a number of people in a particular place and begin to talk to them and begin to inspire them. This is in line with my purpose. So it's basically about your function on earth, which at the end of the day, for us who are Christians, brings glory to God. Now that is it, whatever it is you're doing within your sphere that brings glory to God. That for me is purpose. Every other thing you are doing should be directed there. So again, there is you as a channel towards men, and God is going to now use you to get to men. Whatever it is, for me, it's entertainment, is media. For you, it can be something else. But there's that conviction in your spirit, man, that this particular thing, okay, now waiting God won't make I do this, right? And again, if you see, sometimes people are asking these particular questions and overly sitting there and going back and forth, that particular idea. See, launch out. There are so many things you don't know until you started the journey. You will fail, you will succeed, you will make mistakes, you will get it right. Launch out. Sometimes we overly concern ourselves with these questions of purpose and we end up being stagnant. You're still asking yourself many questions and many questions. There are some things I've gotten myself involved in that I'm not going to go back to. I know it's not in line. All right. So just launch out. Just go out there, launch out. As you go, you will start to find, okay, this is what I should be doing. But like I said earlier, is people inclined? Is directed towards being of service to people. Is directed towards bringing glory to God. That's it. Right now, I know that talking to people, is being of service to them. And I know I'm also doing God's work one way or the other. I'm not out there being a problem to anybody. Instead, my life is affecting lives positive. Either I'm entertaining you or I'm speaking to you one way or the other. So whatever it is that you do that brings glory to God, whatever it is that you do that also is people inclined, and as far as it's making them a better set of people, as long as you are the God that people can see, you are the Jesus that people can see. For those who are Christians, you are the one who is loving on people. You are the one who is able to go out there and just see how you can be a blessing to people. You are the one who is literally mirroring the life of Jesus to people. You are in line. You get what I'm saying? So just launch out. Just launch out. Don't overthink it. Because what I'm saying right now, I'm telling you the truth. People have overly sat on this purpose talk and not even do anything at all. Is this my purpose? This is my purpose. This is my purpose. This is my purpose. You don't do it now. 10 years don't they go. Meanwhile, some people have launched out without asking these questions. The first year, they probably made that mistake and they're okay, this is not what I need to be doing. Okay, by the second year, they now get it right. They start to move. Meanwhile, you're in that spot asking the same questions over and over, right? So again, Jesus was brought on the earth. The purpose was the cross. But every other thing happened before the cross. You are at the stage where every other thing is happening. Eventually, you're going to know what it is that you have. Okay, so just give yourself time. Be open to eventualities. Be open to learning along the line. All right.
Awesome. All right, host, over to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michael, for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we're going to have our last question for the evening. Oluwatosin, please go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, Tosin.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Uba, I'd like to greet you. Good evening. Thanks for honoring the invitation. And to everyone who made this event possible, thank you very much. And Happy New Year to everyone. So my questions, so I'll give a bit of a context background. I'll make it short because then I tend to be verbose. So this April, this 2025, I transitioned from journalism. I'm a graduate of mass comm from the University of Lagos. Journalism, did a bit of PR and journalism. I transitioned from journalism to tech, and I started product design. I went from product design, not leaving product design, also into product design. Then I went into artificial intelligence, machine learning. I have certification in digital marketing. And at some point in my life, I was confused. I was like, I needed clarity because it was like I was doing I was doing everything that came my way. As long as the opportunity was there. Unfortunately enough for me, I didn't pay with all those scholarships. I didn't pay for any of that. Although going into sponsored by Google scholarship with CS Academy, going into product design with that starting this January. I had to pay the token for that. So what I'm saying is at some point I was confused. I didn't know what I really wanted to do. So for someone in that state, what do you have to say to someone that is having opportunities in tech, wants to explore, wants to be as multifaceted as possible? What would you say to the person? Will you say have a niche or explore as much as you can? Thank you.
All right. Quickly, because I've also been in that position, like I said earlier, at some point, there were so many things on my hands, I was even wondering which of them. But if there's anything I've come to learn over time is God is not the author of confusion, He has given you certain things that will be relevant for the time, all right? when I was a professional dancer, for example, dance was very much in need that time. And then later on, when I moved to radio, radio was in need when I moved to radio. Now, which of these things, which of your certifications or what you've been able to do so far, which of them is very relevant for the now? Which of them are you really ready with? Which of them are you ready for at the moment? Which of them is relevant to the times where we are? Like the guy who asked about the AI thing just now. The AI is very relevant right now. So meaning whatever anyone is doing, you just have to channel yourself there, right? It was one of the things I learned, that everything may not come together at once. They all have their times. When I did dance had the time back then. That time shifted. And then radio became the thing. You know, there was a time people were listening to radio, you're talking, Dan Foster will be talking. Radio was that was when I now went into radio. And then later on, gradually, I went to to TV as well, and all of this. Now, they all came in at different times. They all did not happen at the same time. They had their time. So it was while I was doing TV that act movies now started coming in. Jenifa's Diary came in. Other things started to come, right? While I was doing TV. At some point, I then had to stop TV and then focus on those other things, right? Everything is times and season. Everything is about timing and seasons, right? There is one out of all of these things that may be very relevant for you right now. There's one that you go and put all your energy into at the moment that may not necessarily give you any results at the moment. All right. For example, again, when I was on radio, I remember when I was on radio, several scripts were brought to me to come and act because I was doing radio and still doing theater. And they would bring scripts to me, but I couldn't leave radio to go do that. The time had not come for me yet, you know, because I hadn't gotten some level of fame then to be able to now do theater and bring a crowd out, you know. So I had to wait to get some form of recognition from radio, get recognition on TV. Then Jenifa's Diary came. I was able to now get some more recognition there. And then when the scripts came later, years later again, I then launched into it because now I had gotten some form of acclaim. So what is relevant right now? Which of them is relevant right now? Sometimes where you are right now is where a number of people find themselves many times. But the cheat code I usually tell people is which of them is relevant now? If some dancers meet me today and they tell me, bros, we heard that you used to dance, blah, 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 blah. I want to pursue a dance career. I tell them, is dance relevant today? Which professional dancer can you point out today who has succeeded the way you want to succeed? Today, is dance relevant? Aside from Kafi, who is a friend and we danced back then together, who else, you know, can you mention at least 10 people who have succeeded in that line? If you cannot necessarily mention, then it may not be what you should be focusing on right now. Maybe you focus on something else that you also do have. So it's about relevance and what is of value today. Which of them today is very valuable? Sometimes people get certifications with different things and different things. There are some, if you probably have like 4 certifications with different, you know, one of them may be much more relevant today than the other ones. So the truth is, yeah, find which of them is quite relevant for you presently, and then others are not going to go to waste. Trust me, their time will also come. But learn to take things. One door always opens the other door. One door always leads to the other door. Radio, dance. In fact, it was through dance I got to radio because as a dancer, they will always tell me, hey, to go to comedy rather. As a dancer, they would tell me, man, you are funny in your classes. I was teaching salsa dance, I was teaching hip hop dance. In salsa class, my class was always the first class before you get to the next class. For some reason, people refuse to graduate from my class. They don't just want to graduate. They loved my class. It was entertaining, it was fun, but we needed people to graduate. But they loved my class because I was funny while teaching. Now, people came to me and said, we think comedy will be good for you. And that's how I went into comedy. Went to comedy. AY came to meet me while I was like, man, Ogbolor, man, you speak so well. When you're speaking and you're not doing comedy, you speak so well. I think media will beat you in addition to your comedy. That's how I was able to now get into radio. Now, radio now gave me chance. My boss came and said, man, Ogbolor, you do so well on radio. People love you. People would like to see your face. That's how I went to TV. Gradually, you see. So one door opened the other door. They all may not come
Wow.
together, but one door will always lead you to the next door. It got to the point where today, if I host a concert or I host a show on stage, I can bring all of these elements into one place because I've learned over the years. And what I'm saying is probably the span of 20 years, span of 15, 20 years. All right? Take your time, okay? But one door will always lead to the next door. They can't all come at the same time. One is relevant for the now. Which of them is it? If you can answer that question, I think you have your answer.
Good one, sir. That was a spot-on question. Our host?
Okay, thank you so much. Oluwatosin, I think that has done more than enough justice to your question. Should be able to guide you, to what next, right? Can you confirm, Oluwatosin, that you got that and there's some clarity? Tosin, are you there?
I'm trying to unmute.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't unmute.
We can hear you right now.
Yeah, I did justice to it. Thank you.
All right.
Amazing. Lovely to hear. Alrighty. I think we have come to the last question, because it's already like a few minutes to 9 p.m. Nigeria time. So, any final words, Mr. Michael?
Okay, final words. Guys, it's 2026, and I believe once again everybody's in that mode where, hey, 2026, da 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 da. Just be very intentional about it, right? Sit down and put together your goals, what you want to do, the things you can do this year. All right, project, see yourself December 2026 this year. What stories would you like to tell? What would you like to say? Man, I'm glad I did this. This year is not a year for everybody, for anyone who is laid back. You must be intentional about doing certain things. That's the only way you can really succeed. It's not just about prayers. It's not just about some other things that we probably even spoken. All of them will come first from you and what it is that you projected. Nobody starts to build a house and you don't have a plan. You must put a plan in place to know what kind of house to build, right? So I wish everybody a successful 2026, but you have work to do, work day. Please focus on that work. Don't be carried away by social media, Nigeria problem. Focus on zero in on yourself, right? Successful 2026. God bless all of us.
Thank you so much. God bless you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, guys. Applause.
I can leave, or
all right.
Can I leave?
Oh yes, you can leave. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Catch up with you later.
No wahala.
Thank you.
All right, blessing. Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for hosting these two, sirs. Amen. God bless you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see Funke said you made my year. Okay, that's a good report right there. More of that, please. Okay. This was really enjoyable. I mean, there was I would call this like a clarity session, like for free, So thank you so much once again, Adura, for putting this together. Okay, so to go ahead with what we have for tonight, we have some. Okay. Thank you, Isaac. Happy to begin my learning experience with a huge leap. Amazing. Okay, so as I was saying, to continue with what we have for the night, it's not just coming and hear or coming and listen or, learn. Let's just unwind a little bit with an amazing spoken word from no other person than Chemistry Bakare.
Creator of the universe, breathe upon my soul for the world to experience God in a new dimension. Because he looked and there was nothing new under the sun. My breath This rebellion against thrones of darkness. The revolution in my lungs cannot be compared to witchcraft. It is a roar, obtained from the belly of the head of all principality. Abimini Irorami. Abba drew me out of dark waters and asked me, Oluwa Kemi, how can my own be in a place and there will be darkness? Kemi, light does not beg for permission to shine, but sometimes the light bearers ignorantly dim their light. So shine, Apeoni. Dying down for others to feel comfortable is not humility. Shine like the eyes of Moses when he came down from Mount Sinai. Shine even if the people are afraid to have God speak to them. The veil was torn by Jesus for you to shine boldly with no restrictions. Apeoni, Okonbanimi. I am the mind of God, the wisdom with which I am formed. Oh, just get your mother they fit in the box because I am one with God. The jetty boat waiting for only because go go. Tio di no majem where Jesu yika. Keep out kukumaleka. Esu feel go no laka. Ojawo. Only good riddance. I will attempt another time. Nítorí ìgbàgbọ́ go not teach you. Ohun à ń fà tún lọ. Yẹ́bẹ́. Mo r'Olúwa pẹ̀lú mi nínú iná. Kò jẹ́ omi ayé gbé mi lọ. Èyí ló mú ìgbàgbọ́ mi dúró ṣinṣin. Mi ò lè gbé ìgbé ayé ẹni yẹpẹrẹ. Àyànmọ́ mi ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ Elédùwà. Ẹni bá forí sọ mí, ògbéni níjà ló fẹ́ bá jà. Á pè mí ní ìránra mi. All there is to me is not gentle and kind. The wisdom of the divine has taught me how to peep through seasons, to know when to be a lion and when to become a lamb. Á pè mí ní ìránra mi. My essence is metaphor for Christ, chosen, sanctified, glorified. Divine intelligence is my light. This is why everything I touch undoubtedly shines. Abimini Inoram.
Even in the midst of darkness, I would stand, walking confidently steady in the Lord. And no matter how the cases seem to be, I would stand and look up to Almighty God. I would shine over the glory of the Most High, 'cause you chose my wings to fly. I wouldn't need any permission to reach nations, 'cause I'm born for this and more. I would shine, shine on 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 more.
Abimini Inoram mi.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I can't speak Yoruba, if not, I would have reiterated the word Akpemini, something, something. I did not choose this path. I did not send myself. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
goodness.
Oh yes, I was choosing. I was called. I didn't call myself. And the way that's tied to the submit is that we are heroes, and we do not call ourselves as heroes. We're called, by the God who created the heavens and the earth, the orchestrator. So yes, that is a message to someone. Wherever you are called. You didn't call yourself, so there's no point to quit. There's no point to relax. There's no point not to deliver what you've been called upon. As they say, delivering your poly unit, you have to deliver your own assignments. Yeah, so yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thanks to Chemistry Bakare for those fire words. I see Isaac telling me those Yoruba words are like enchantments that invoke the fire of light. I think I'm gonna have to listen again because this light must shine. No. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I see Rachel also saying all there is to me is not gentle and kind. 2026, I shine. I love the fact that this spoken word video did what it was supposed to do. It has delivered on its assignments. Yeah. Thank you so much once again, Adira. Okay. Okay. Dying down for others is not humility, right? Actually, you don't have to dim your light, others shine. Thank you. Thank you. I think the reviews tonight are quite amazing. Thank you again to the convener of the RAEY Summit. Does anybody have anything to say, last words, to the convener, anything that you want, maybe final announcement before we bring it to a close for tonight?
Oh yeah, maybe I'll just give the convener last word. So yes, I mean, everyone, thank you for being a part of RAEY Summit 2.0. Of course, it's the consistency, is the getting it to be done and getting these powerful speakers, to literally speak to us. And the idea for the RAEY Summit, you might not see your regular thought leaders come up here. We bring in, professionals, people you will maybe not hear their motivational side, their backstory, to just come speak to us, So yes, thank you everyone for joining in RAEY Summit 2.2. Watch out for RAEY Summit 3.0. Yes, watch out for that. And of course, all the excerpt quotes for last year already on the Instagram page. If you check RAEY/Summit, you would see it. And of course, you can rewatch this session over and over again. It's on YouTube, Aduramigba Olayinka. And of course, do well. We'll be launching the IQ YouTube page very soon. So yes, do well. When all of this video, will be cut into excerpt, of each session, and they're going to be posted there. So whenever you see it, please engage it, subscribe on this channel, search for RAEY Summit on even Google, and then you will see the link to every other thing about the summit. So yes, thank you everyone, and thank you to all the speakers. Thank you to the host, our incredible host. She's the one holding forth all of the session time. Thank you, and thank you to everyone who has been part of it. God bless you all, and of course watch out for more things. Actually on the 3rd of January, we'll be confirming if we'll be putting in something together called the tax dialogue. So we're going to be bringing in a professional in tax and finance, whoever is on this call. If you're in Nigeria, you will know that there's a tax law that has just been implemented. So of course, do well to follow through. We'll be sharing in information on that. So yes, I mean, watch through the display picture is on the link right now. Yes, so watch out for it. And yes, we're going to have a great time. So thank you everyone, and God keep blessing you. Over to you, our host.
Thank you so much, Adura. Thank you. This was really impactful. I mean, I see comments too. Funke says thank you for putting this together. It was really impactful. Yeah. I mean, we're going global. Okay, mark those words. All right. So 2 people have something to say. I'm just going to give them 1 minute each. Rachel and Oluwatosin. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. 1 minute to just say something, and then before it's good night.
Okay, first off, I'll start by saying good evening, everyone. Good evening, everybody. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, because this is the best year to begin my year. And yes, I've learned something. I had issues with procrastination. And then, yes, and jotting so many things down here. I have some visions I had to in the creative world and chemistry. Bakari, I want to say thank you also for that, reminding me, yes, that I'm not supposed to dim my light. And yes, I think I've been shying away from some things. And so with everything I've learned tonight, I'll put it into practice, and I pray and hope to do better Thank you for the platform. Thank you, the host. Thank you, the speakers. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Rachel. All right, Tosin, 1 minute for you. Tosin, are you there? Or we are just going to sell your slots? You're muted if you're speaking, Tosin. Tosin, are you there? Okay, this is where I say going.
Mute. I was trying to unmute. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Hello?
I can hear you. Please go on.
Sure. So as a member of the Elevation Church, I'm not there on site now. I would invite you to Exponential Conferences. It's the 10th edition, and I'm part of the team. There's a 50% slot for student pastors, ministers, 13% for ministers, those in the marketplace, ministers in the market, and so on. Price tag for the event is 40,000 naira. But if you're a student minister and you can prove that, you can get to pay 20K for that. That's as long as the 200 slot is available. It's and I know registration is closing pretty soon, and it's a life-changing event. People like Pastor Jereze, Pastor Yemi Davis, Pastor Mensah Tabil, Pastor Mrs. Moshka, Pastor Bola, and Pastor Godna Kinabe, and the rest of them will be there. And I know it's going to be a life-changing event. And I myself, I registered, so I used the early bird discount when I paid. So there was an early bird that initially closed November 30th Sunday, and then it was later extended to Monday 15th December. So that's closed for now. So I know it's your 40K won't go to waste. It's not something I'm paid for, but I'm a type of person that I believe so much in customer service and experience. If you can give me what I'm paying for, I don't mind referring you, even if it's a risk for me to do that, because I know you give value, and this is something of value.
Thank you, Tosin. Thank you so much. 1 minute's gone. Thank you very much. Isaac, very last minute, but well, we're very lenient. Isaac, you go on, and that will be it.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much. What I just want to say, I've learned a lot already. My notepad is quite. I've written quite a lot of things, and I want to really say a big thank you for the host, for those that actually brought up this initiative, and actually it's for Sir Adura Agbemi, because I joined Church Media X sometimes like late last year, for like the last 3 months of last year, and I would really say I've learned a lot of things from the meeting and everything. So this is just me saying I've learned a lot, and I'm hopeful, and I'm happy that I started my 2026 with this, and I really want to appreciate everyone. God bless you all, sir. God bless you all, ma. Thank you very much. That's all I want to say, ma.
Thank you, Isaac. We appreciate you too. All right, so to say thank you to everybody who has joined in to the RAEY Summit tonight, both on Zoom and on the YouTube channel. It has been a very, very wonderful time. And of course, like Adura announced, there are more events coming up. The Tax Summit coming up, I think, later this week. Next week? Yeah, next week, 3rd, he said. All right, so just be on the lookout and watch out for more that will come from this platform. So yes, thank you very much. I remain your host. My name is Anyekan Akanam. It's nice chaperoning the conversation tonight. And until next time, see you. Bye-bye. Happy 2026. Go forth and shine.